Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to the summer transfer special here at H&W Welders on the Impossible Dreams. We look to win the Champions League with a Northern Irish club, and today, well, it's a big summer. Thank you for everybody's feedback. We did do a bit of a squad, what's what we're looking for? Analysis, I suppose, last episode. And, well, we're going to try our very best and build a team that can, if not get out of the group stage of the Champions League, then hopefully go very, very deep, if not win the Europa League. So we can see what the game has as our best 11 right now. I agree with some of it, certainly not all of it. It's I sort of went through last episode what I thought we needed to do, so we're not going to waste any time today. We're just going to get straight into it and try and do it. And some excellent news to start things off. The board have come through for us. £500,000 a week in wages, 30.33 million to spend on players. It's exactly what we wanted. It's exactly what we needed. And of course, we're only spending 164. We're committed to spending, say, 180 grand a week in wages. So we can probably even, push that up even more, given that we're probably not going to get anywhere near that on wages. So that is huge. Thank you to the chairman. We've given him a lot of crap for selling our players, but credit to him. He's come up big for us here. All right, we've got a few awards on the league and records to point out here. So Young has kept 25 clean sheets, which is a new record. The previous clean sheet was also 25, but I'm assuming it must be less games played. So there you go. Well done, Young. Not a bad first season. McDade was the Premiership Player of the Year. Robbie Young, the goalkeeper, came in third. And Garrett Wilson, who, of course, was ours until he was taken away from us, he got second. The top goal scorer, of course, it's McDade. It always is. 31. 23 was the next best, and there was two players that had that. Rookie Surgeon claims the award for Young Player of the Year. It was a clean sweep ahead of Vogler and Surik, so well done to our boys on that one. And what else do we have here? Manager of the Year, congratulations to me. And McDade gets his 115 grand for being the top goal scorer in the league. Did I just dribble? What? We have breaking news this evening out of H&W Welders, where the club have smashed their transfer record with the £7.75 million signing of Trinidad and Tobago international Jelani Fitzpatrick from Nottingham Forest. Now for more, we cross live to Eamon Murphy. And Eamon, what can you tell us?
Tanks, yes, the Welders manager certainly seems happy with his new player, though he doesn't seem to know if he's a striker or a number 10.
So there we go. We have the first big signing of the summer. It is Jelani Fitzpatrick. Certainly has the last name to play in Northern Ireland, doesn't he? 7.75 up front. You can see some add-ons there for 50 games, 10 games internationally, 10 caps, and 50 goals as well. We're going to be paying him 28 grand a week, which I believe will make him the highest paid player at the club. That being said, he's actually coming in as a bit of a backup for us. He's hopefully going to be the new number 10, or the new backup number 10 for what's his face, Armstrong. Though what he does do is tick a few boxes for me as well in terms of playing as a striker in Europe. He's got the jumping reach. He's not the best finisher, but he's got a couple of other attributes there that are decent. But the big one here, it's passing, it's technique, it's vision, and first touch. I think he's a very, very useful player with the physical presence as well. We've signed him from Nottingham Forest. He has spent 2 seasons there in the Championship doing quite well. Previously to that, you can see he was at Chelsea. He has played in the Premier League. More so, he's been a Championship player. But I think he's very, very useful. I think he's going to be tricky. And that's the sort of player we want, I think. All right, just a quick update. The Champions League final has been played. Barcelona beat Juventus. If we're wondering, Paris Saint-Germain got beaten by the eventual winners. So the team that beat us knocked out by the eventual winners. And Real Madrid, didn't go very far, did they? They got knocked out in the first knockout round by Tottenham. Okay, but what I wanted to bring you back for is this, and that is that Benton Holder almost won the Golden Boot despite being knocked out in the group stages. It was Esposito by a single goal that got him. So very well done, Benton Holder. What a European campaign that was. Yeah, look, Hamzard, mate, the right side, I'm still not happy with it. Can you go and instruct the scouts to focus their searches out there for me? Thanks, mate. Hello? Oh, Mr. Chairman, another transfer window call, I see. Goodbye. What do you mean goodbye? A transfer embargo? Ah, So this is not ideal. The chairman, Alan Lindsay, is looking to step aside. There is a bid that's come in from David McLaughlin. He is a local investor, and that means transfer embargo in June. Perfect. Well, thankfully, that took all of a day. So fantastic, or maybe 2 days. June 4th we are now. The takeover's been complete. So the chairman, Lindsay, is gone. He's not going to sell any more players. Is it better the devil you know, though? But so we have a new man, and let's have a look at what he wants us to do. Attacking, hype, it's the same stuff, isn't it? It's the same stuff. Work within a budget, win the league, and Champions League third qualifying round where we are already at. So we'll just accept that, considering what it is. Transfer embargo is lifted. The finances are still roughly the same. 20 million to spend, 500 grand a week in wages. So it's as you were. Alright, the transfer window has opened, which means our two players that we knew were signing that for fees anyway have officially joined us. So we have spent 12.45 million, which is a record for the club, the country, and everything. So Jelani Fitzpatrick officially arrives. He is worth 9 million now. I'm still happy with, sometimes when you see them back, you regret it a little bit, but I'm still quite happy with this. What he lacks technically isn't necessarily what we need him to have. He doesn't need to have good marking or tackling or penalty taking. He doesn't need that stuff. What he needs to have, he's got, and I'm quite pleased that we've got him. And Ross McGurk is officially our player. And again, what he doesn't have, he doesn't need to have there in terms of technical stuff and everything else that you'd want him to have, apart from maybe teamwork. But he's got it. He's got it, and we've paid 4.7 million for him. So it's a record fees. It's record everything. So well done us. We've broken records in both in the league and outside the league. Scully, the director of football, put a bid in 6 million. I don't think we're going to get Scully back. I just feel like we can do better. And then there's some other bids there that are going on. But window is officially open now. We'll keep looking to spend money. So the reign of Aaron McDade as Europe's top goal scorer has come to an end. He's come in third, but there was a couple of good PSG strikers. He had 31 goals, but obviously goals for us count a little bit less than they do elsewhere, so he's fallen a little bit short. Samuel Biloa, who looks very, very good indeed. Obviously, we're not ever going to be able to afford him, and Mbappe, who at 35 is still ridiculously good. So there we go. There was 4 and out for Aaron McDade, but a wonderful run it was. Okay, it's getting cold, so I'll put the hoodie on, but we have got some updated competition rankings here for us. Now, the Premiership has moved up 8 places to 13th now. If we have a look at what that means, that puts us... Who are we just behind? So we're just behind the Turkish League. We're a 3.5-star league now. That might help us sign some players, actually. That's really good. Ahead of the Swiss League, the Norwegian League, and you can see the other ones there, and crucially, ahead of the Championship as well. So that's all huge. Now, what is not quite so good? Well, what is not so bad is that Welders have moved up 2 places to 27th overall. So that's good, ahead of Roma and Celtic, Lyon, just behind the Milan and Lazio and Napoli. Now, we are defending 21 coefficient points this season. I don't think we will have to go a very long way now. Of course, the season after that was only 6. That's our disaster year in the first year in the Champions League, I think. So, yeah, we need to have a very big year in Europe this season. And unfortunately, we can see the homegrown players. I did want to check 1 or 2 on those as well. But we have fallen further down as a league in the coefficient tables. We've dropped 2 places to 13th. That means not only are we going to be out of the group stage, we are losing our second spot, I think. Are we? Second? No, we do still have the second spot, but we have to start in the third qualifying round as opposed to the playoffs where we are going to be starting this season. So we've hit a high and we are now just slowly sliding back down as a league, unfortunately. Alright, we are at July 1st and we have 2 new signings. Now, the one we knew about, Michael Sims, he's officially arrived. Free transfer from Liverpool. We knew he was coming in. He's going to be a good player for us. I have a lot of faith in that. So that is Michael Sims. But the other player that is signed is Wilson Oliveira, a 22-year-old left back we have signed here. We had to pay $500,000 more or less. He was out of contract, but he'd come through at Nacional, was it? Yeah, in Uruguay. So we kind of had to pay that to get him out. We're paying him $5.5 grand a week as a squad player. And let's have a quick look and see what we've signed here. He is a decent left back. He's a decent left back. I've been asking after him for a little while, but there was no way of getting a work permit. He's made his Uruguay debut, so he's now able to get a work permit. Now, if we compare him to our other left back, which is, or our other sort of challenging starter, which is Connor Surgeon. Surgeon in the blue, Oliveira in the green. We can see Surgeon is still kind of the better player all round, so I think Oliveira will be serving as his backup. But we needed somebody that could come in and be a decent or a better option than Ellis. And what he does have, he's got decent dribbling, crossing. He's okay in a tackle, decent positioning. He's okay. He's not going to be the difference between winning the Europa League and not winning the Europa League, but he's okay. Now, one other thing I did just want to quickly catch you up on was players that we've released at the end of their contract. Joseph Akizian, sorry mate, there's just no future there for him, so we've let him go. We'll keep an eye on how he goes. Where's he going to head off to? Ported down, perhaps. So we'll probably come up against him in the league. If you want to have another guy named after you, just let me know. Picasso, we knew he was going to leave. He wasn't going to get another work permit, so he's been released. And then we've got a couple of youngsters here that came through the academy. We'll probably see them again. It looks like they've all more or less been snapped up. We did see Dylan briefly in the first team. So that is the players that have been released. Okay, we have another signing to announce. Now, this is not one for now. This is one for January 1st. So he's a 17-year-old promising midfielder from Brazil. We got him at the end of his contract. 1.6 grand a week as a fringe player. Now, let's have a look at him. I said I was happy with my midfield, but, you know, young, promising Brazilian midfielders, you can never have too many of them. And this guy, I think, could be quite special for us. He's at ATP, whoever that is right now. He has played in Serie A in Brazil, so he's playing at a decent level already. So he's got a work permit. He's here ready to go and coming in. Now, the reason that I've signed him this young, and it's an issue that is becoming, I've been aware of, but it's becoming a pressing issue. And that is if we look at registering a Champions League squad or a European squad. We are very, very short on not just club-trained players, but more so on players that are just Northern Ireland-trained players. So if I was to give you a rough look, I'd say our squad would be like. Now, you could give or take a few players here. I'm only registering sort of 2 first-choice goalkeepers. Lewis isn't registered because we have to register Ellis as a cover at centre-back. So there's a few here. I mean, Napoleon isn't in the team. Ozioma, Atwell. There's a few that we've left out, and that basically gives us 21, but we are 3 players short of Northern Irish trained players. So that means we have to obviously have 3, or not obviously, you may not know, but it means we need to leave 3 places blank in the squad, which would allow us to register 22 players, and that 22nd player is basically going to be, I hope anyway, that really, really good right-sided midfielder that is better than Martin Brady. So that's the situation that we're in. So we need players that aren't currently trained in Northern Ireland, the club, to become trained in the club and in Northern Ireland, so that they obviously count towards us. So yeah, it's a little bit of a situation that we're in, but we'll get by as best we can. I'm not sure when some of these players will become club trained, but I mean, the likes of, say, Kamani, of Octavio, these guys should all become, no, that's not Octavio, sorry, DeLauro, Thompson, they should all become club trained at some point, but obviously that point, Siroc's another one, that point isn't yet.
We have breaking news this evening out of H&W Welders as the club announced the signing of Nicholas Themistokoulos from Swansea City for £1.9 million. Now, manager Aussie Villain had this to say to the press just moments ago. Look, we've been really, really frustrated in our attempts to sign a right-sided winger, and Nick knows that he's not our first choice, and that he'll probably find himself on the transfer list if we do find somebody better. And he's also been made aware that I am absolutely no chance of pronouncing his name, so we're going to have to find him a nickname.
So there we go. We have made another signing. Nicholas Themis, we're going to have to change that. Yeah, anyway, we've made the signing. 1.9 million from Swansea City. Now, this wasn't my first choice. There's his contract, just under 10 grand. Imagine signing someone I don't really want for 10 grand a week, like 4 or 5 seasons, even 2 seasons ago. But anyway, he's a squad player. And let's have a quick look at what we've got here. Now, as I say, he wasn't who I wanted. I'll show you the guys that I was after, and we're getting beaten to players that we thought we were going to get. So he's going to play as a right winger. He's not the worst. What I'm hoping is that he's just going to be well-rounded enough that he'll just get a job done for us. He is, if we look at comparing to Brady, Brady in the blue, him in the green. He is roughly the same, but he's a little bit better attacking and technically. Not quite as good in the air, but better mentally. So he is a very, very minor upgrade. And, well, the fact is he is an upgrade. So, anyway, we're hoping he's going to do a job for us, and we're going to have to set your nickname to Mr. T. I think that's just the best way around that for everybody. Because I will hurt myself trying to say that name. So that is it. Now, the guys that I'll show you the guys that we were trying to get, the main guys. So this is one. Now, he couldn't get a work permit, Serbian. We had him on trial, and I liked him, to be honest. I was more than happy to sign him, but he wasn't going to qualify for a work permit, so we had to let him go. And the other guy was this guy. Now, he's not perfect. He doesn't really have any balance, but he's rapid. He can dribble and cross. He's only 18. The problem we had with him is that we had a bid accepted. We offered him a contract, but Leverkusen offered him a contract, and he just re-signed with them. So we've been very, very frustrated in trying to sign a right winger. I'm hoping that Dr. T is Mr. T. Is it Mr. T? It's Mr. T, isn't it? I'm hoping that he's going to be our man, but I'm not completely convinced. Okay, we are at game day of the first game of the new Premiership season. It's a cup replay against Berliner Millard, so we'll see how we get on there. Now, a few things to catch you up on off the field before we do a squad review here. But we have made a new signing. Not someone to get too excited about. Gary McBride. He was released by Manchester United. He's 18 and Northern Irish, a left back. So I figured we'll sign him, we'll stick him in the reserves. He's not the worst. There's some decent mental and physical attributes there. Maybe not so much pace, but we'll stick him in the reserves and see what happens. Potentially, he could be useful, but I'm certainly not hanging my hat on him or anything like that. So we'll see how he gets on. We might give him some cup games this season. Now, we also have a affiliate. We have linked up with Limerick in Ireland. This is them as a club. Now, the issue is they are semi-professional. We had a choice between them and Sligo Rovers were the two sort of realistic ones. Sligo was professional, but their training facilities were poor. Limerick are semi-professional, but their training facilities are good. So I went with the better training facilities. I don't know. I don't know what I should have done, to be honest. I could make an argument both ways. Maybe they would have been better off training professionally. Anybody that we sent down there, we may not send too many people down there, but it's an option for us. And maybe if we can get them up the leagues in Ireland, maybe they will become professional. You never know. Now, one thing I did want to flag up here is the homegrown player update. Now, this season is not. It's been very tricky for us. The likes of Lake, who I think went to Schalke in the end, he refused to come back. He was club trained. There's probably one or two others, but we can see for this time next year, the likes of Vogler, Amstadter, Thompson, McCracken, and Ozioma will all be club trained, which means, well, we don't just have to register them anyway, because although a couple of them might be over 21 by then, but that's going to help us. And Up Richard as well will be club trained midway through this season, so that's going to help us in registering squads for next season. But this season it's undoubtedly been a big challenge, and yeah, we're going to actually have a short squad in the Champions League, although we have under 21 players, so we won't actually be short. But you know what I mean, we could have registered more players, we could have got better players in on loan, but there's no point loaning them in for good players for Europe if we can't register them for Europe, and so on and so forth. So the window's not closed yet. One option we could do, for example, and I don't want to drag this out too long, one thing we could do is we could, for example, loan in a right winger and then not register Brady, things like that. That's always an option. But Brady, he's valued quite high. I wonder if we should try and cash in on him. Anyway, this is the squad we have. As I said, window's not closed yet. We've still got about a month to go. But we'll start with strikers, as always. Jelani Fitzpatrick, I'm excited about this guy. I think he could be good. Not necessarily as a striker, but he certainly can play as a striker. Michael Sims is going to be a good player for us, I hope. We've also got McDade, of course, goal scorer extraordinaire when it comes to the league. McCracken, who is, well, he's very, very good. And hopefully another one that could get goals for us in Europe. And Turpey, of course, if he stays fit, he's very, very good in the league. He could even be the new McDade in the league, to be honest, but we need him to stay fit. And there's one or two other youngsters that are around the first team as well. If we go over to the left, Armstrong, kind of ignore that. He can play out there, but it's certainly not where we want him to play. If he's playing out there, it's because something's going wrong. McKay back on loan. He is club trained, which is huge, which means we probably will push the boat out to try and sign him permanently at some point. Mr. T can play on the left. He's right-footed, though. Ideally, he won't be out here. McCracken is left-footed. We can use him out on the left-hand side. We've seen him play out there and play out there well, so he's an option. But I think second choice behind McKay will be Dominic Sirok. And he is developing nicely as well. And, of course, down the line will become club trained for us as well. And this is why I always sign young players, especially young foreign players, just so that they do become club trained. If you get them when they're, 20, 21, they're never going to be club trained for you. And we've seen our academy is not really producing the players that are good enough to come through and fill European spots at this point. Martin Brady will be one of the main guys on the right-hand side. I'm hoping, well, we've got Thompson who can play out here. I've been experimenting in some friendlies, not just Thompson, also Aussie playing out there. McCracken can play as an inverted winger, as can Sir Rock. We've already seen these guys, obviously, so you don't want to waste too much time on them. And then Mr. T, he's solid, isn't he? He is solid. There's no real weakness in his game, but I would have liked better. But anyway, that is what it is. The number 10s, well, we know what Armstrong, as far as I'm concerned, is the best player in Europe right now, so that's good. And we've had some big bids coming for him as well, but he hasn't kicked off. He's more than happy to stay, despite some big Italian clubs. I think it's mostly Italian clubs. I think we've got a bid up to as high as 15 million, so good to see the new chairman, didn't bite at that. But Fitzpatrick, I think this will be his main position. Atwell, I'm seriously considering selling Atwell. We can't register him in Europe. We don't really need him to play in the league. We have younger Welders players that we can play in the league that will help them develop for when they, maybe get them to roughly this level. So, yeah, thoughts on what you think of that in the comments. I'm very tempted to cash in on Atwell. Napoleon, another one, contracts up the end of this year. I can't bring myself to sell him. We'll end up offering him a new contract and he'll stay for the rest of his career. McQuaid, now we've stripped McQuaid of the captaincy. He is unhappy. He's asking to leave. I've changed his playing time back to fringe player. I don't want to lose him. Obviously, we love McQuaid. We really do. And he's a decent number 10 as well. And I would like to give him game time still. But if he's going to be causing problems, then that is going to be a problem. Now, if we drop a little bit further back into midfield, and this is where I think we are strong, both now and looking at potential in the future. So Adam Thompson will play back here, as can Kamani. We've also got Napoleon, of course, who can play a little bit deeper for us. Aussie, who is a young player that we need to maybe give him a little bit more game time this season. But you can see he's maybe not the worst option to play as right winger. Not the best option, but maybe not the worst. And Up Richard, who is back. I'm not going to loan him out this year because he is so close to being club trained. We're going to try and develop him and use him this season. And that's why I think maybe Atwell, who we can see here, can play back a little bit deeper. Maybe we need to make the call there. DeLauro, of course, very, very high potential. Great player he is for us. Fitzpatrick, we've already seen. He can play a little bit deeper in midfield. Miss Kelly, club trained, came through the academy. He is going to be an important player for us moving forward. And Kamani again. Well, let's get rid of Kamani. Who else is down here? Aussie, we've already seen him. And the other one is William McQuaid. He won't be playing back there. Centre backs, and now we may be a centre back short. This is maybe one of the positions where we look to get somebody else in and maybe don't register someone like a Joe Kidd in Europe. Andrew Ellis is going to have to be in Europe because he's nation trained, not club trained, but that's important still, and he can play centre back. So I think we're going to have to use him as a centre back, sort of an emergency backup. Octavio, he will be one of my main guys this season. I rate him. I think he's going to be very good. He'll partner McGurk in Europe. That's certainly the plan. If we go down the rest of the centre-backs, Nathan Lewis, who I say every season we need to use him more. Will this be the year? Who knows? Timmy Vogler, he will be club trained at the end of this season, so it's important that he plays, and I've already seen Octavio. Left-hand wing, or left-hand fullback, I should say. We've seen Ellis. He's not bad, but we can do better. Surgeon is going to be the main man in Europe. Very, very good attributes, mentally, physically. Physically it's not too bad, but also technically for a defensive player. And Oliveira, he's here. That's the best we can say about him. We'll see what happens. We paid $500,000 for him. Worst case scenario, we should be able to sell him off at a profit. Over on the right, now we do have a few youngsters that can cover here, as well as, we've seen some midfielders that could drop back if we need them to in the league. I still can't find anybody better than Roy Hill. Now, I've actually extended his contract. All those contract extensions I post on the Discord, which is a link to in the description. So we've got rid of his $1.5 million release fee. And as I said, I can't find anybody better than him, or certainly not significantly better than him, to bring in. So he's still here all these seasons later. And, of course, Kavanagh, who will be the first choice in Europe. If we go down to the goalkeepers, we have Robbie Young. Let's hope he steps up big in the big games, unlike last season. Amstadter, of course, promising goalkeeper. And we also have Hammerstrom. Now, he is unhappy. He's unhappy because I didn't let him go to Lyon. I'm hoping once the window closes, he's going to get over it. I'm going to try giving him some game time in the first team. Now, of course, the issue we're going to have is that I promised Amstadter he can play as well. So, we've got too many good goalkeepers. we'll figure it out. Something will have to give, but maybe we do need chemistry. But anyway, we've got 3. I couldn't be happier with the goalkeepers. Goalkeeper and midfield, I think we're set. Wide areas, I mean, we're not too bad. Strikers were not too bad. I mean, we're never going to be the finished product. We're a Northern Irish side, but that is the team as we have it. So if you've enjoyed that, guys, make sure you hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. No one's new at this point, are they? And, well, yeah, let me know how you think we're going to get on, how you think we've done. Yeah, it's the registration, isn't it? The registration is the difficulty, and there's not much we can do about it. We just need to get through this season, and then when we get on to next season, again, you can see there the club-trained players. When we get on to next season, then maybe we'll have a better chance with some more club-trained players. But anyway, that's all for today. This is how spring training, that's baseball. It's how pre-season's got on very, very well. We've played some good teams in there as well. Both the Glasgow sides, Aberdeen. We lost to Club Bruges, but I don't manage, and that's all the assistants. So that's this of course is Theo Walcott, if you weren't aware. So next time we'll be back for Ballina Millard and Glentoran. We'll do a full squad run through. We'll give every player what we can a game, and we can sort of assess what we have coming into the Champions League qualifiers, which will be on the episode after next. Take care.